You mentioned that Tiberius's reign was at 11 Common Era, but ancient sources always counted his reign as commencing after the death of Augustus.
Okay, ancient sources, the word all is incorrect. You can't say that. Some ancient sources, yes, okay? Continue on. You see, you can't allow an incorrect premise to stand in a question, okay? Because if the statement is incorrect, then the question can often be incorrect. So everything has to be right within the statement. So they don't all say that, but continue on.
Surviving coins and inscriptions also reckon Tiberius's reign from January 1st or August 19, 14 Common Era.
Important coinage. Coinage, very good.
Okay. How can you be so certain about the year you mentioned when the preponderance of the evidence says otherwise?
The preponderance of the evidence does not indicate otherwise. And why can I say this? Because it fits all biblical and historical records. Now let me clarify that. Tiberius was co-emperor with the ailing Augustus beginning in 11 of the Common Era. But it wasn't until mid-September of 13 of the Common Era when he became the sole regent. And he completely replaced the aging Augustus, but Augustus hadn't even died at that time. And so Tiberius, by 11 of the Common Era, Tiberius was already both the tribunica or the tribune, the tribunica potestas, and the imperium maius as co-emperor since the Common Era of 11. And this is what your historical sources will tell you. And then he succeeded Augustus officially as emperor following the approval of the Senate on September 18th of 14 of the Common Era. While modern historians mark senatorial approval and the official coronation as the beginning of the reign of Tiberius, historians of his day marked his reign as beginning a year earlier in mid-September of 13. However, Tiberius was, in all practicality, ruling the daily affairs of Rome from 11 of the Common Era, as was common knowledge in the empire of the ailing Augustus. Everyone knew this. Now, what modern historians, as you say, the coinage talks about from 14, but, the beginning of the year in 14, but back in 13 is when the Senate actually approved and named him the emperor at that time. But then when you go back, because we're dealing with biblical records, we're going with what everyone in the empire knew, that from 11 of the Common Era, that is when Augustus was sick. And this is when he was given the title of Tribunica Potestas, not potato head, and Imperium Maius. He was in charge of the daily activities of the empire from 11 of the Common Era, and that is the date that you choose and that you understand because it fits with the biblical record. People can say, well, it's not until the coins came out. No. That opinion doesn't work. Well, it only counts from when the Senate approved it. No, that doesn't work either. It only works according to the biblical record, and that's how we know that Yeshua, one of the reasons we know that 27 of the Common Era was when Yeshua began his ministry. It was also the 46th year in which the temple was in reconstruction, and all the other events which are detailed in the chronological Gospels. See, it's not because one thing fits, it's when all things fit. There cannot be one fatal error with any of the calculations in order to find the year that Yeshua was born, the year that his ministry began, and the year of his crucifixion. And remember, not once dissenting opinion for over 300 years, all of the early church fathers and historians said Yeshua's ministry began Yeshua's ministry was about 1 year in duration. It wasn't until 300 years later that one man came up with a cockamamie idea of how to interpret Daniel's prophecy.